Okay, let's talk full fashion trends that I'm not going to be buying and I don't think you should buy into, and what I would recommend you shop for instead. Like I said in my other autumn fashion video, I don't think there's that many trends this year. I think that full fashion in general is quite trendless and the same kind of styles come back into play every year. That being said, I do think there are a few things that are going to be cropping up a lot on TikTok this year, and like specific versions of these styles and specific brands people are shopping from. And I think all of that can be quite influential if you're constantly bombarded with watching them and seeing the same things come up. So I feel like this is going to be a palette cleanse of like, I know everyone's wearing it, but you actually don't need to shop the same things everyone else. You can shop this, or you can just wear what's in your wardrobe already. You might already have something that works, and we should celebrate that. We have a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Before we do, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Katie. I talk a lot about fashion and sustainable fashion and why fast fashion doesn't deserve our money. If that sounds good to you, if it sounds like something you want to hear more about, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and you follow me on my other social media. And with that, let's get into it. Starting with, I think, what is the biggest trend of autumn, which is the funnel neck coat. And okay, I actually really love this style. I really love the bundled up look, but I don't think you have to shop in order to get this silhouette. I know TikTok is especially obsessed with the Uniqlo raincoat that has a funnel neck, and also there's this polka dot one from Bella Anna that everyone seems to be getting. But I honestly think these two things will become really oversaturated really quickly, especially the polka dot one. It's gonna become a TikTok micro trend, I feel. And I honestly don't think you need to buy anything to get into this trend anyway. Like your average trench coat pulled up with a collar, or like a winter coat with a collar will do. And you can just like safety pin it together, or you can lean into the imperfect vibe and have it like sort of closing, sort of not. I just think if you don't already own a funnel neck, then you don't need to buy into it in order to achieve that bundled up look. And if you don't have a winter coat with a collar that you can flip up, then you can get the same look with a scarf wrapped high around your neck, a zip up jumper all the way up under your coat, etc. Like the turtleneck of this jumper, for example, kind of fits the vibe. I just think it's more of a vibe than an actual thing you need to buy. That being said, a funnel neck I think is quite a classic silhouette. I definitely wouldn't put the style in the TikTok micro trend bin, even though I put that polka dot one in the TikTok micro trend bin. And I do think it would be a good thing to buy now if you definitely like the style, because as I said, it's classic, it's never going to go out. But be aware that it is the trending style of this season and you might get sick of wearing it. I would definitely try find something secondhand or vintage, something that's a little bit more fun and out there so that it feels a bit more unique and has some sort of distinguishing feature, because I think that viral Uniqlo one, especially, like, it's cute, it's practical, but I don't think it's anything special. And I think there are much cuter styles you could find secondhand, vintage, or even from a small brand that will have the same effect but also help you stand out. Okay, moving on. Do not get the trending striped tee that you're seeing everywhere on TikTok and Instagram. And if you like the striped aesthetic, I think start with accessories instead. Unless, of course, you're a stripes girl, which, you know, you can disregard this, move on to the next one. I'm not talking to you. I think buying a statement piece like a bright long sleeve t-shirt just because it's trending will mean it's quickly unworn in your wardrobe. Stripes in general are going to be massive this autumn. There's no getting around them, and I do think they're quite classic, so I'm not saying don't buy into the stripes trend. But if you're not sure where to start, if you don't already have a lot of stripes in your wardrobe, I would disregard what TikTok is saying about the striped long tee, at least to start with, and look instead to smaller accessories, which to me feels like you can participate in this trend without being so on the nose. I think something like a striped scarf or other striped accessories, or maybe a bag or socks or something fun like that, means you'll get to wear those items more and more because they can be styled with so many different outfits. And again, it's not the focus of the outfit, so it looks a little bit more nonchalant, like just a little hint to it. I think the second part of this trend we need to talk about is the fact that bright colors seem to go hand in hand with the striped long tee, and you shouldn't let this sway you if you're not a bright color girly. Like, I'm not a bright color girly. And also the fact that the blocky, even space spaced stripe vibe seems to be what everyone's going for. That's not me either. I tend to like an asymmetrical stripe, or maybe something that has more than 2 colors striped in it. And I guess that's part of the reason why these trending striped tees just feel a little bit off to me. Like, I love the stripe aesthetic, but I immediately thought that they just seemed a little bit TikTok trendy when I saw everyone getting the same thing. That being said, I am kind of tempted by this trend. I think this trend is like the one I'm most tempted by, but I know that part of this for me will be making sure that the look I go for fits the rest of my wardrobe. Although I do already own more than enough striped items in my wardrobe, so maybe I won't be buying into it at all and just making use of what I've got already. But if you don't have enough and you do want to buy, then one, make sure you're buying something that fits your style, which for me would be muted colors over the bright colors that are trending, and maybe asymmetrical stripes over evenly spaced stripes. And two, definitely buy these secondhand, vintage, whatever you can find, because obviously stripes are so classic. There'll be a ton of items. So again, no need to shop fast fashion. Along the same lines, but this is a personal one for me, I don't like the rugby tee aesthetic that's trending right now, and I don't think you should buy into it if you haven't already and you haven't already gravitated towards this style. And I have my reasons. I think this one's quite hard because there's no direct alternative to the rugby polo top. I think it's just a very iconic style, but I wouldn't recommend buying anything just because TikTok is telling you it's cute right now. And I think personally, the rugby tee is quite a hard one to style when it's not the trending piece that will carry the entire outfit, if that makes sense. Like in a year, this paired with jeans will just look like a basic or too basic outfit, and it's just not gonna hit the same way. As with everything, if this is your style, then ignore everything I've just said. But if you weren't already tempted, I say no to this. Also, what I will say is I think that fast fashion brands are going to be coming out with a ton of these styles. And from what I've seen so far, and like previous years they've done the rugby trend, I think it can look quite cheap when fast fashion does it, especially the like thick jersey material. And there's just something about it that I just think doesn't look quite right. And I could see a lot of people buying into it this season and then pushing it to the back of their wardrobe because it goes really shapeless and hangs weird and is just not that exciting. So if you're going to buy into this trend because you think it fits your style, I'd really pay attention to the material, and I'd personally avoid a thick heavy jersey that makes it feel a lot like a jumper, and instead go for like a lighter cotton t-shirt feel instead. That's just my opinion. That's just, I don't like the thick jersey material and how it hangs. Like, this is just not something I would buy, although a t-shirt version I could kind of get more on board with. Okay, another thing that I think you don't need to buy this autumn is a cinched waist jacket or blazer, because you probably already have a jacket that will work and you can just add like a belt or a scarf or a tie to cinch it in. Like, you literally don't need to buy anything new to get this silhouette. Just tie your belt around a blazer or tie a scarf, maybe a lace scarf since that's trending too. Or you can even use clothespins and tuck in the waist for a more subtle look. I think you could even sew in darts to the material if you want a more permanent tailored option, although don't quote me on that because I'm not too much of a sewer. But the one thing you don't need to do is buy something for this trend. Again, unless this is your style and you see something that you think you'll wear for ages. I also think adding something like a belt or a scarf can make the whole look so much cuter. So this is almost like a little hack to making your outfits more interesting too. Okay, and it's the same energy with the balloon pant aesthetic that's trending. You do not need to buy balloon pants specifically. You can just tie the ankles of any pants you have. Like, if you have a wide leg pant, then tying shoelaces or some lace around the ankles once they're on to get the same silhouette is such an easy alternative to buying. Or if you're feeling more ambitious, you could sew in some elastic to the cuffs and make this more permanent. I think with the way fashion is flopping between skinny jeans to wide leg to balloon back to skinny, buying into these pants is not a good option in my opinion. Personally, this is not a look for me. I think I would look really silly and feel really silly, but I think some people can pull it off. You just don't need to buy something specifically for it. This next one is hyper specific, but I needed to include it because I've seen it a lot on TikTok recently. Don't buy the H&M Argyle jumper, buy something vintage instead. I do think this particular H&M jumper is super cute, and I was influenced when I first saw it. This is like right up my alley. The colors, the pattern, it's adorable. But I think after a few rounds in the washing machine, this jumper is not going to be as cute. It's going to lose its shape. It's going to become itchy. And not to mention, if everyone wears the exact same one, then it's going to feel like a micro trend real quick. From past experience, let me tell you, I've bought a jumper like this before from a fast fast fashion brand and you will regret it if you don't plan on hand washing it. The H&M website itself says dry clean only because they're also aware of the likely disasters that will happen if you put this thing in the washing machine. I think instead there's so many Argyle pieces you can find secondhand or vintage that will actually be worth the pain of hand washing them and will likely have a better material composition. I mean, this is 33% polyester. Why not buy a 100% wool, 100% mohair one and actually make the hand washing worth the effort? Last ditch effort, if you do really like this H&M jumper, then just wait a year and you'll definitely be able to find it on a secondhand website like Depop or Vinted. Okay, and for the final trend, because I feel like I've done a lot of don't buy this, and although I've tried to give some alternatives, I feel like it'll be handy to say something about what I think you should buy. I think some of the pieces that are trending this season I would definitely buy are the checkered ones, the olive greens, the suede ones, because even though they are trending for this season and we're going to be seeing them a lot, I also think they're evergreen styles that will come back in every single year, and so investing your money in it will be worth it. Plus, of course, there's a ton of vintage and secondhand options for them because, like I said, they're in every year, so there'll be some really cute pieces you can find. Or if you see something brought out new from a brand this season, then you could wait a year and try find it secondhand online next year. Okay, and with that, I think we've gone over every single TikTok microtrend I wanted you to avoid this season and what I think you should buy instead. I hope this de-influenced you, besties, and we all refocus our attention on shopping for things that will stay in our wardrobes for many years to come rather than just what's trending on TikTok right now. Let me know in the comments what you are shopping for this season, what your favorite new finds have been. I need to do a little bit of autumn shopping this year, and I might do another video with like a tiny little haul of what I do end up getting, maybe in a couple of weeks, so we can include a section reviewing what you guys have bought too. All right, I hope I speak to you guys soon. Have a lovely day. Bye.